Hello, so welcome back. Today we're going to talk about vocoding using VocalSynth, which I think is a fantastic, really great tool for vocoders. And I know Ableton has its own vocoder. I've always kind of struggled with it, and this is just, to me, the easiest and the most effective way to get that vocoding sound. Now, if you're like me and you can't sing, and I'm just a producer, I work with other vocalists, it's actually pretty useful to just hear your voice in a song, even if you can't sing. But it's actually also great for production with vocalists who can sing as almost kind of like this backing vocal. And I'm just going to show you how it works. So it's just a combination of these synths, this bass line, and these drums. So as I said, I'm not a singer, but I did record my vocals a bit earlier, and these lyrics I just made up on the spot, so there's nothing special happening here. You know all the times we can get together. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it makes some sense to get together. So as you can tell, like completely out of tune. What I've done here, and the way to get VocalSynth to work is you've got to create a MIDI track. Now that MIDI track needs to be empty MIDI track. You can't have any effects or anything on it at all, can't have an instrument on it. It's just the cleanest way. And all I did was cut and paste the MIDI from the actual synth line. So we know that we know that MIDI from the synth line is the chords of the song, so we know that when we sing and apply the vocoder, it will be in line with the MIDI. So what I did then is in the MIDI, I am sending the MIDI to the vocoder track, and I've just duplicated my vocals and I've created a vocoder track, and it's sending that vocal synth. So you just send the first channel of the vocal synth to this vocoder track, and I've actually plonked a vocal synth on that track so it could find it, and I've even put a little delay on the vocal synth. So if we just now listen to just the vocal synth track with my vocal that we had on before, let's just hear what that sounds like. You know all the times we can get together. So we've got that kind of typical vocoder sound going on. And once you've put the VocalSynth vocoder on the vocal track, then you will have to go into MIDI mode and just make sure MIDI is selected because it defaults to auto, and then press accept. And then in addition to that, you may want to go into your presets and make sure you've selected one of the MIDI mode presets. Just to get started, you can go ahead and obviously change things. Now listen just to the vocals. You know all the times we can get together. And then you can actually start tweaking and playing with some of these sounds and just hearing what it sounds like. You know all the times. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it makes some sense. Then we can go ahead and listen to that vocal sound with the actual instrumental. You know all the time you can get together. Now let's just put the delay on it. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it makes some sense to get together. Now earlier I said that this is a really good technique, even with really good singers. When you get a really good vocal, it can even sound better as a backing vocal. So my vocals, which are not great, it'll even complement those. So if we bring the original vocals back into play here, it still sounds kind of decent. You know all the time you can get together. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it makes some sense to. So if it can make my vocals sound good, it can make a great vocal sound amazing. And I've used that in quite a lot of my songs. I've got a link to my Spotify if you're interested in hearing some of my songs. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, subscribe, click that like button. And if you've got any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments.